Peace, peace, peace. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. So. What's up, everybody? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Give y'all a second to come get in the live. You know, give y'all a minute, get situated. Give myself a minute to gather my thoughts. That's really what I'm doing, giving myself a moment. But I appreciate y'all for hopping on. So, just want to say that first. So we got a lot to talk about, I guess, around this post right here. So we're gonna talk about it. So I think this is a very you know, triggering topic. But I think it's something that really should be discussed, you know. Reply to your questions. DM me your question, whatever it was. It's so many notifications, and like sometimes I can't always keep up with them. But send me that question, your royal quietness. Send me that to my DM. So let's see. Alright, so this post right here, right? So got a lot of people in their feels about it. I guess it's kind of figuring, but it's kind of a filler post because, first of all, I want to be sure that, you know, I come correctly, you know, because I don't want to mislead anybody, you know, so I want to be clear about my stance on particular things. So a lot of things, a lot of knowledge, like a lot of things that I share is very, very, you know, it's thought-provoking. It's very non-traditional. It very much goes against the grain. So for some people, it can bother you, you know. But for the people that it's meant for, you know, it's going to do what it's going to do. So, but anyway, let's talk about the post. First of all, I know this is a white man. We know it wouldn't be no European, so that's out the window. But the whole point of it, you know, as it was saying, it's about duality. We talking about polarities, right? We talking about good and bad, light and dark, you know, higher, lower, masculine, feminine, light, dark, however you wanna put it. We just talking about polarities because we just understand that that's all that's really referring to. It's just referring to your God self and your lower nature self. You know, your crown chakra, your root chakra. Simple polarities, right? And what we mean when we talk about polarities, like we say, we just talking about your higher and lower self. We just talking about frequency. So we don't take these things literal because we understand that they are metaphysical principles. We understand that once you dig deep, the underlying message of it all is a metaphysical one. That's one to be taken within the self. So everybody might not be to that point, and I realize that some of us are still triggered by seeing the white European image, but you know, so I guess it's just both things. But we know that we're talking about myth. We know that we talking about myth when we talking about these things, you know what I'm saying? So, and the whole image of Jesus is based on Caesar Bourgeois, however you say dude's name or whatever, and with a bunch of criminals. So we know that, because even if you deal in antiquity, if you go back to antiquity, all the depictions of all the people from the Bible was melanated people. But I just feel like we should bypass the whole thing and just remember that we talking about myth and allegory anyway, and we shouldn't be so set on that type of thing, which a lot of people still tripped up on. But I don't really get into that at this particular point in my path. I'm at a point where I'm about taking it to a higher level. You know, I'm about applying this for within. You feel what I'm saying? But, you know, yeah, they basically remade. I mean, because that's what everybody does. It's just colonization. That's all it is. We talking about, and it's a lot of people. We know Christianity pretty much rules the world, but y'all gotta. You dealing with history. It's pretty much propaganda. That's why I made the post I made about memes. That's why I said what I said about memes and understanding that even belief systems are memes. So people have to replicate that thought process or that belief system onto others. They have to do that. Now, some systems work better than others, you know, because mass majority of people out here is Christian. You know, I was raised Christian. I was raised in the church and everything like that. So, you know, I understand coming from that, and that is a very deeply embedded belief system, you know, when it comes to your heaven and your hell. So a lot of that is gonna trigger a lot of people because they're not gonna be able to move forward from that because you got that belief of you going to hell. So everybody just ain't at the same place, you know. So it gets difficult when you trying to relay certain, you know, spiritual information because everybody ain't at the same place, you know. So, and it can get, you know, kind of do its thing on both sides because, you know, people can be so matter of factly about what they you know, what they believe or what have you. But I did the whole Bible breakdown thing because, you know, it's something that I get asked a lot about. I get asked about the Bible and a lot of that, and so it's only right for me to present that as which I know. Yes, it's pretty. That's all it is. Duality. That's all it is. Duality. We talking about just two different opposite poles, a polarity. That's all we talking about. That's all it truly is. So when you say that it's within, you know that it has to be, you talking about both sides. You're just talking about your dual nature. You just know who you are. So when you're doing shadow work, like we've been talking about shadow work, every time we come live, we talk about shadow work. Because shadow work is integrating that shadow self. It ain't just knowing that it's there. It's about bringing it to the light. You know, it's about embracing that part of yourself, you know. So it's that's just how we kind of trying to do it, you know. But do anybody got any questions? Anybody want to ask anything? Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. So, anybody got any questions though? You know, before we go on. Yep, yin and yang. It's just another way of looking at it, man. It's pretty much all it really is. That's all you actually talking about, because it's like, as long as it's a mindset thing, the way that I see it, it's a mindset thing. Like, if because as long as you feel like there's something separate from you, then that's not something that you can deal with. What's up?
I own that.
Okay.
Mom, go.
Come on, baby, come on. Come tell me, man. What's up?
I am female to you. Well, it's still everything vibrates. That's one of the laws of the universe. Everything vibrates. I mean, not everything has gender. The law of gender. Everything has a masculine and feminine. So, like everything. That's just energy. That's just understanding plus and negative. You know, like, it's just, that's really all it is, man. If anybody never looked into Hermeticism, you know, read the Kabbalion. You know, the Kabbalion, you can get it for free, I believe, on Apple. You know, if you have Kindle, you can get it for like $1. Like, it breaks down all the simple laws of the universe. The first one is the all is mental. Everything is the all. So if everything is everything, you know, that's the foundation of everything, understanding that. So that's good and bad. It's just all about where you sit in it, man. It's all about perspective. See, most people get caught up in it because they caught up in morals. You don't need a religion for morals. Like, you generally know in your brain, you don't have to pick up a Bible to understand you're not supposed to hurt a child. Like, that's not required. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily need that to understand what's good and what's bad. You feel me? So morality, that's not the case. Like, a person, so good people can do bad things, bad people can do good things. You know, people that may be in a position who's supposed to be of good, they're supposed to be a building for their community, somebody you're supposed to trust, and they may have done something bad. So we gotta throw that out. Like, we can't get, like, it's just, man, it's just a mindset thing. Honestly and truly, man, it's really just a mindset thing. It's about understanding that you are responsible for your life. You are responsible for what you create in this life. See, when you do away with all that and understand that all that is in here, then you don't have a scapegoat. It ain't nobody's fault but yours. Even if somebody wrong you, even if it's always a lesson in it for you, what did you do to attract that to yourself? What role did you play in this? Because all of it is trying to relay something to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, so morality, so because we be mixing up the things. Like, it don't matter, like, what a person is labeled under. That's why we get tricked so bad. That's why people always manipulate in our community, because they fall under a label, and we automatically assume that we supposed to, that we're gonna be, and we get misled by this label. It's sheep led to slaughter. Somewhere we got to stop and we got to think for ourselves. We have to think for ourselves. So you have to understand, yo, you make a choice. You make a decision. So like a lot of people brought that to the, it's a choice. It's a choice. Just like the dude was saying in the post, right brain, left brain. That's like, just like where you got a Gemini. Gemini represents that. It shows you it's two, it can be two things within a person. It's just understanding your nature. It's just understanding who you are. It's about knowing what do manipulate you. What does blind you? What does keep you attached to illusion? You feel me? Or what is it that can bring you to a place of compassion? You can go high, you can go low. The choice yours. It ain't nobody's fault but yours. However things play out, you have to be willing to accept responsibility. See, that the accountability is astounding when you lead the church, because it ain't nobody's fault but yours. At the end of the day, you got to take control over your life. So all your negative habits, all your negative patterns, everything, all your addictions, everything that you blame, yo, you doing that. That's your shadow you. Why are you self-destructing? Why are you doing things that's purposely leading to your self-destruction? Why do you keep going back to that person that you know is toxic? It's something in there for you to learn. You feel what I'm saying? That's why the devil, see, everything is symbolic. That's why the devil is always depicted like a goat. That's why, because it's like a scapegoat. You gotta understand what the goat represents. The goat is connected to earth, just like a Capricorn. So all this is just symbols. They talking to your mind in a coded language, and you don't understand the language. So I'm trying to tell you the language, so you can understand what they telling you, because they program you to hate yourself anyway, but you don't know it. You feel what I'm saying? Because you got to ask yourself, yo, what in slave times, what made them slaves stay? Why did they stay? Why was church a part of the program? Why did they have to go to church? Ask yourself this question, man. Why was this a part of the programming? Like, you understand that back then in them times, you know, when they initiated all this, the Pope and them, they literally came together and said, we just gonna, if they either with us, that was the most gangster thing ever. You gonna get down or lay down. Everybody didn't get down. They took them. They killed, took, ravished, everything. You gonna get down with this, or you gonna lay down. And this is the result of that. This is colonization. So when people like, oh, it's just Jesus, 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 and it's like, you do understand that we only saying this because of colonization. Like, we gotta we can't avoid that. You can't skip, hop, and jump and dance all around, act like that's non-existent, and don't think that don't play a part on your psychology. We can't pretend like it doesn't play a part, because it does. I promise you it plays a part. I promise it do. I promise you. Just study it. Look at it. Read. Study. Look at history. They did this to you purposely. And they didn't even give you everything that the folks even was saying about Christianity at the time. they still dibbled and dabbled and said, no, we're going to take this and we're going to do this. We're going to cut this up. We're going to put it this way. Because they had to make things okay within the society because it was a way of control. You got to think back to these ancient times, to these old times, man. You don't have a phone. You don't have the internet. You see what I'm saying? So, and then I always have to tell myself, you know, even in the case, Jesus really only had 12 followers. You know, so a lot of times the truth is not gonna be popular. It's not gonna be popular though. You know what I'm saying? So so like for the people who do want to know more, right? I got some books for y'all. So look, this right here, this is the Gnostic Scriptures by Bentley Layton. So that's like a lot of what Christianity came out of. The Nag Hammadi Scriptures, this is at least the books that they left out that I ain't want to tell you about. Now, you really want to get into what it's all really meaning. I got the Gerald Massey lectures. This one was pretty good. It talks about the devil of darkness or evil in the light of evolution. This is real different. You got the Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold. So this book is real like technical and you know it. And then Gerald Massey, Ancient Egypt, Light of the World. This right here pretty much break down how everything in Egypt already. And I think that's because, and it's not to say that it's just in Egypt, like you got it in Hindu, you got it in all different parts, and it's because of what it originally is stemming from. And it's like, okay, so if that's the case, what are they talking about? Because if you can get past all that and understand that all of this was given to you the way that it was to just control you, you actually want to get to what is some truth spiritually, you know, then that's what you start to do. You start to ask yourself, okay, well, what's the meaning behind the stories? What is it that they talking about? And so that's like I say, they talking about your root and your crown chakra. So the whole Christ ascension is also in reference to your body. It's in reference to you raising the Christ energy up within yourself, starting at your root chakra. That's why it's red. That's why everything about the devil and hell has to do with red, has to do with, you know, because it's the root chakra, you know. So, and it's connected to earth. That's why you got the whole goat thing and all of that. Then you moving up. So as you move up, you know, you get to your heart. That's the transformation center. That's why every time when you look up Jesus, like if you just Google an image of Jesus, right? It's a glowing heart always in the middle, because Jesus, the Christ, that's representation, is symbolic to your heart chakra. It's symbolic to your transformation center. It's symbolic to compassion, because that's how you this is where you transmute energy at. This is how you go from a place of low to high, and this is how you get higher knowledge. This is how you get to ascend. You come say that every time. I don't care. It'd be hard. Alright, okay. Alright, so what was I saying? So, you know, and then your crown chakra, that's heaven. Because, you know, this is your ascension to heaven. So all of that is just saying, you know, let me take this off by now. So that's all that is just saying, you know, in reference to yourself, because you raise up that Christ energy, and then you're able to ascend, the third eye open. That's the coming back of Christ and all of that, if you know, get to the third eye. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. But metaphysically, that's how what it's talking about in reference to you and yourself. So for me, I made the connection to alchemy, and then that's why I say I look at astrology, because if you look at alchemy, right, a lot of the symbols still align with the planetary symbols. So I think the way that I see it is your events and everything that make up and composites who you are is like a melting pot. It's like a laboratory. I look at it like it's a lab, and it's all mixing into coming something it's making or molding itself into being, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I probably sound crazy right now. But that's just how I see it. Like visually in my mind, it's like a lab being a science. Maybe it's because I'm a scientist, but it's like a mixing of different things, and those different things are different situations, different events that happen in your life that made you respond or change or react this way, and at the same time it's changing your DNA. Like I be on some stuff sometimes, and one day I'm gonna sit down and we really gonna dig into all of this metaphysically. But I just want to talk about the little picture real quick. And because a lot of what my content around today was about, you know, Christianity, the Bible, and whatnot, the case may be. Because I get asked about it a lot, and I can understand this because that's how we raise. We raise in Christianity, and it's just levels to it. Because at points throughout the journey, you get mad at a lot of the lies, and then at some point, eventually, you go past the lies, and then you just ready to just keep going into what it is. Some people do get stuck in the anger, but I like to think that you acquiring that information so that way that you can go higher up, so that way that you can keep going. You can keep going, but the information gets uncomfortable because it starts to tear down them belief systems. I think that's part of tower moments, is the tearing down of the belief system. Because even sometimes when you think you got something, when you get into, you know, the knowledge, and then later on you find out even more, and then it's like, man, it's even more. So you never know what you don't know. You know, you never know what you don't know. So I said all that to say that you can decode and you can very well utilize a lot of things that we learn in Christianity and things that we learn from the Bible. You just cannot take these things literally and figuratively and historically, because we argue a lot about a history that, you know, some of this stuff we got to kind of let it go. You feel what I'm saying? But as long as we remember that this is a magical book, you know, that it was written in a code, in a language, by an ancient people, then you can utilize it. But if you looking at it literally, then you're going to stay in dogma. You're going to stay in just, you know, just rules and regulations. It's restriction, like it's restricting. So it's a difference in that you got to dig deeper and you got to get to where it's uncomfortable. Because like I say, it tears away at a lot of foundational beliefs. Because when you start taking the wheel, you know, like, have you ever took the wheel from somebody that's driving? And when you take the wheel, it gets scary. It's going to get scary because it's a lot of uncomfortable information. And it's gonna like change the way you things you've been looking at things. That's the facing your fears. That's the demons that they talking about. Really, it's only the darkness that's been accumulated within you from the suppressing of your own soul. So that's all you really gonna be facing and dealing with. You really just gonna be facing yourself. So a lot of us, you know, that's why a lot of people end up making a lot of diet changes and stuff like that when they get into spirituality. Why? Because a lot of times that may be rooted in indulgence, in bad behaviors and addictions and stuff like that. And not only that, but spiritually, food has a different frequency, a different vibration. Like, you naturally aren't going to be able to tolerate certain foods once you get on a certain frequency, depending on who you are. For some people, it depends on how it is. Everybody's experience is different, so it's all in how you look into it. It's all in how you it's all in you, because it's your DNA. Like, you going through the genetic mutation. It's like some mutant shit. You going through a genetic mutation. You literally going through downloads. So as you activate and get access to this different information, parts of you gonna remember. And it's gonna change you. I'm telling you now, it's gonna change how you see things. You're not gonna be able to see things the same. And I think subconsciously that's why a lot of people don't walk this path, because you cannot go back. It's no going back. It's like Dick Gregory said, you can't take the glasses off, but you can't make nobody else put them on. That's the part. You can't make nobody else put them on either. So it's all in how you you do it. And different things are gonna resonate with different people. But I believe if we really operate in metaphysically, we all going to the same place. It don't matter, because I did the work. If you looking through Islam, even if you are digging through Christianity, or if you digging through Judaism, if you go to the dark side, or if you go to the other side of those religions, then it's gonna give you that metaphysical side of it. And we all gonna meet at the same place. But a lot of people not gonna do that work. A lot of people, they're gonna be comfortable at the dogma level. So we have to let them people be comfortable where they at. It's like they said on the Matrix, you can't make nobody. It's not poor connection. But I didn't want to bug y'all too long with it anyway. I'm about to go ahead on and wrap it up. But check out the whole video if you haven't checked it out. The whole Bible breakdown thing or what have you. I'll make a post with these books in a bit. I'll make a post with these books because I did it kind of fast. But I'll do that shortly. So that's it. I guess I'm good, kind of, anything else, y'all just hit me up, let me know. Peace.